Guten Tag, Happy New Year, hello everyone, and welcome to Comment Below, a podcast where we talk about the news and topics of the week, but more importantly, what has been commented below. We delve into the mess that is our social media, finding the stories you may or may not be talking about. Isn't that right, Ben?
That is correct, Alex. Yes, Happy New Year. We're back. Christmas has happened and it's gone.
Why are you sitting like that?
What do you mean? I'm not sitting like anything.
You look like a GB News presenter. In a minute, you start getting a scroller and start looking at the auto.
Thought we weren't going to mention GB News this year.
This has to be the first thing we talk about. Hello, everyone. Any new people dropping by? You may have noticed that we're the same people who do a Traitors podcast. Faithful to the Traitors?
Yeah.
That's us. We're not twins, you know. It's the exact
happening.
same set. It's fast as happening. The exact same set, just with a different background on the iPad. But we also have different social media. So you can find us on X at commentbelowpod, Instagram at commentbelow_pod, or email commentbelowpod@gmail.com. No threads on this occasion. But we have kept the routine one day. But we have kept the routine of having a different tag for both X and Instagram, because why not? Keep you on your toes, you know? We like that kind of stuff.
So how was your Christmas? Was it nice? Was it fun? Pleasant?
Well, I spent it with some guy. He was a bit of a pain in the ass, and his family, they were a bit annoying. I got roped into going on holiday, which I now deeply regret. We've had this
Spoiled white man, that sounds like.
Well, no, I mean, it sounds nice, but I just want, I'm trying to kind of have a chill 2024. I don't want to have it to be too on edge. Last year. Yeah, go on.
I was going to say that's a topic for another episode. Slow living, that's called. Have you heard of slow living?
No, I haven't.
Living.
Yeah,
slow living. There you go. We'll do that as a
living
topic.
is what I want to do. Slow living is what I aim for. But I also know that I've got a lot to do around the house. I've just got so much. But I haven't got a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's my adult brain. It's like there's not a lot to do, but I feel like there's a lot to do. No, see, I don't subscribe to that. People always say, write a list, tick it off as you go along. But that doesn't help me in any way whatsoever. It's like when people say, if you need to do a task, set a timer for 20 minutes, sit down, do it for 20 minutes. I'm waiting for the timer to end so I can then play on my phone for 20. My brain's all over the place. That's the one thing I need to do, and that's go to the doctor and get tested for ADHD, because I genuinely believe that
could be your goal for 2024.
What, be ADHD?
Why not?
I mean, there's lots of signs going that way.
Chris has done that last year, and he's on medication now. He's changed him. Owen Jones, the commentator, he's had that last year. So,
again, it's luck of the draw of the NHS, isn't it?
They all went private.
There you go.
Both of them did.
There you go. So if anyone wants to fund me going private to check if I've got ADHD, then please do get in touch.
Why don't you do a podcast series with a psychologist? Get it done for free. Film it.
That's not a bad idea, actually. We used to have a friend who did one where he analysed films with a psychiatrist. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
He was a really nice guy. We don't speak to him anymore. That's a shame.
Disappeared. He edited one of our first ever podcasts for us.
He did, but 7
When we
years
didn't know
ago?
what we were doing.
We had no idea. We
Still don't.
Yeah.
Before we get on with the show as well, there's just one thing that annoyed me this week.
One.
Yeah, just one.
Good.
On my
Start
list of
the
things.
year. Yeah.
TikTok has been flagging my account for breaking community guidelines. Do you know who it was that did this? Which has annoyed me.
Who reported you?
Well, I commented on someone's thing about someone, and then I was like, nope, I was taken off. My comment was taken down. Julia Hartbrewer. Do you know her from Talk TV?
Yeah, she's a twat.
Right. She was doing, it was a video. She's on lots of things this week which have annoyed people. She said that Carol Vorderman shouldn't be talking about politics because she posts her bum and boobs on Instagram.
Right.
And then she's like, I'd never do that. And then people followed up with her tweet with loads of photos of her in a bikini.
Brilliant.
So there you go. But this video, this video, and she's also upset like the Prime Minister somewhere in some country, isn't she? But anyway,
she's just an
she is
arsehole. I've had an encounter with her actually. About 4 years ago, I photoshopped a picture of her. She had a picture of her with a mug and her thumbs up like that, and on the mug it said Brexit done or something dumb like that. And so I photoshopped her sitting in front of a toilet and on top of a toilet with that like that, and she blocked me on social media. I was proud of myself. I was quite pleased.
Free speech.
Oh yeah, free speech. That's what.
So the video that I saw on TikTok, it came up on Talk TV, and it was like she was having a go at this person about global warming. She was like, I think it's lovely, nice and green and sun. She knows stupid things that she said.
Ridiculous things.
So I just commented, quite a nice short sentence. I said, Julie is a prick. Comment taken down. I've now got like a strike on my account for it. I was like, how is this not factual?
I mean, you could have.
She says much worse stuff.
Yeah, but she does it in a much more creative, flowery way.
I know, but I was lying in bed and it was like midnight, and I just thought, Julie's a prick. That sums it up.
Yeah,
Which she is.
You just need to be smarter.
I know.
Work smarter.
I just thought it was funny.
It is funny, and it's, as you say, factually true. However, at the same time, you know that TikTok especially TikTok right now, because they're desperately trying to grab at advertisers and stuff like that.
And I reposted a video that I posted a year ago, because they do that thing on TikTok. They're like memories or whatever.
A bit like Time Hop. You remember Time Hop when they used to
it's a bit like that. And it was a video of Desperate Housewives of Mary Alice getting a gun about to shoot herself in the head, and then I got a strike for that as well. It's like that video is already on TikTok a year ago.
You've got, yes, but TikTok is a much different beast than it was a year ago.
Well,
it really is a much different beast. Those videos, I watched, I forget the guy's name, and I doubt he is watching or listening. By the way, you can watch us on YouTube if you haven't already. Go to Comment Below Podcast, look for that, and then if you subscribe, ring the bell, and tick a thumbs up and follow us. Then you'll never miss an episode of this or any of our productions on BAM Productions. Yeah, no, even if you say things like hate, the word hate gets beeped now. People beep the word hate on TikTok. TikTok are really, really strict now.
Yeah, but then you can scroll through and see like an animal being decapitated or something, and it's like, well, why is this here with thousands of views?
They can't police everything.
Well, they can police me saying Julie's a prick.
But they can police it because it's a word, so they can filter words. That's easy. That's an easy one for them. But they can't filter, and they probably filter certain imagery. They've probably got an AI that you love so bloody much. There you go, working against you now. AI probably has like images of people holding a gun, and they saw that and they flagged it up straight away.
Poor Mary Alice.
You just need to look, if you're going to use TikTok, and the same could be said with any social media, you just need to work within their rules.
I know.
Otherwise, that's going to happen.
It was just annoying me that Julie is a prick got flagged, but here we are.
Well, yes, but it's fine. But to be fair, she probably hears that in the street daily, so there's nothing new for her. But she's just a complete and utter swag.
So I still stand by my comment.
Lucky for you, because a lot of people I've noticed also, there's people I follow on TikTok, and they've been saying that a lot of their videos are being taken. They're kind of like political analysis, if that's a word. And they for years they've been on TikTok saying what they thought. Nothing been done. Recently, they've been getting the same. They've been flagged. I forget the lady's name now, but Taz is her name or something. Anyway.
It could be anyone.
It could be absolutely millions of people. But
Chelsea VR. She lost her account, her live account.
This is what I'm saying. So
or Chelsea, what's she going to do?
I know, tears are flowing from my eyes. She's quite political. She's very left. And she was talking about how she got an MP who was like fighting against Carol Vorderman, trending, called like a wanker or something like that on Twitter. And she got her video taken down constantly. She put it up, take it down, take it up.
Is that the blonde woman?
That's it.
Oh, I do know her name.
And she always started with
dystopia warning.
Dystopia warning, yeah. And she said that if you want her content now, go to YouTube, because YouTube, although they have community guidelines, they are much more open to allowing it. There is something obviously deeper in TikTok where they're now starting to realise that perhaps people aren't using it and they're not making a lot of money from it, where other social medias are making money. Let's not include X on that, because X are clearly not making any money, and they never will. From
their advertising is getting really bad. All I keep seeing is only, I don't even know if they're real, but they're like OnlyFans accounts of like, and it's like a girl with one name like Alice or Jane, and it's a picture of like a woman, a young girl, literally with her like vagina up to the camera, and then you see her, she's like leaning backwards in like a mini skirt, and it's just like, what is going on? They're advertising, and I scroll, like, they're in comments as well, like in a comment on a post you go, and there's this
all the time
thing in your face. It's like,
all the time.
How bad's the algorithm? I don't want that
on X now.
It's not even men, it's women.
Oh, well, I know.
So the algorithm doesn't know what it's doing.
If they knew that you like cock, then more cock would go on the screen. I know. But
I still don't want that as an advert, but still, it would be preferable to the girl in a school uniform with God knows what's going on.
But X is really bad for that now.
Oh,
like the comments, like you could post something and then immediately a comment is like, "Have you seen my tits?" And it's like, what? Pardon me? That's what I think. You could say like, the school education system in the UK really is awful. I love your tits. It's like, whoa.
Or it's like, buy my crypto, and it's like, sorry, what? Who? Yeah.
I mean, crypto's so 2018, isn't it? It's like, come on, moving on. But yeah, no, I know, it's dumb. obviously there's a divide in the world between whether you're an iPhone user or an Android user. But there was once a time when you were
Android
iPhone.
with my Moose case sponsorship. Hey,
Well, if they want to sponsor, they're welcome to. But
they're
there was
the
a
best
time.
cases.
There was a time once upon a time when you could also be a BlackBerry user. Do you remember BlackBerry? Do you
Yes,
remember
in
the company? They were called RIM.
Were they?
Yes, the company who owned them were called RIM.
They'll do well on Twitter advertising, I think.
They would.
I never had a BlackBerry, but
Didn't
some
you? I
of
was
my
gonna
friends
ask you.
did.
You were young when kids. There was just like you could kids like at 15, 16, 17. They couldn't quite afford an iPhone. So they went for the next best thing, which was BlackBerry. And BlackBerry had a real resurgence for about 5 years, didn't they? And everyone asked you, what's your BBM? What's your BBM? What's your BBM?
They were meant to be a business phone, weren't they?
They were,
Yeah.
because they had the tactile keyboard, which is what a lot of people loved.
I think more
about it.
girls had Blackberries than guys.
Oh, no, I
in
don't-
college, from what I remember.
No.
But on my personal experience, then
Well,
that's
from my personal
definitely.
experience, everyone had
But
BlackBerry.
you're old, so
Yes, but I hang around with young people.
you were probably doing your business.
That's why the police are investigating. So a lot of people loved about BlackBerry was the tactile keyboard, and although the keyboards on phones are fine,
Apple wanted to get rid of buttons.
Click, click,
didn't
click,
they?
click, click,
They don't
click,
want
click.
buttons. You
but I
press
would
the
say
screen.
Apple, I would say it was Steve Jobs, and if you read his autobiography, you can discover the reason why, because they make it much more sleeker, much more neater, much more cleaner device. And let's be honest, he was right because Android followed suit.
I like pressing buttons. I used to love home button. Miss it still.
Well, you could kind of upgrade to a tactile keyboard if you wanted to, because on the 7th, so tomorrow I think it's getting released. I'm not entirely sure, but at the computer show in America, I forget what it's called now. I've got it all on here somewhere, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. A company is releasing a new keyboard cover that you put around your phone, and then you can have a keyboard at the bottom of your iPhone. It's called Clicks. The cover is called Clicks.
Is it
And it's
official
basically-
Apple? Is this?
No, it's not officially
Oh,
Apple.
okay.
But it goes into your iPhone through the USB port underneath. So you can only get it for the new 15 and 15 Pro. It's being released at the CES show on the 8th of January. And it literally is basically having a keyboard at the bottom of your phone. It draws the power from the phone, so it doesn't need an external power source. And it basically will then get rid of the keyboard box that comes up underneath the screen as well. So you have then full
Clear
screen.
screen.
Yeah,
This worries me.
Screen.
One, my first, because I'm looking at a picture here, everyone. So if you're listening, it's like a phone case with a keyboard stuck on the end of it, underneath it.
Yeah,
You can see it on YouTube.
It comes in two colours. It comes in grey and yellow, and the keys are like small
Circles.
round buttons. But it's just like a normal keyboard, a QWERTY keyboard.
They look like little Smarties. My main worry is, first off, BlackBerry used to have that thing where you clicked it up, clicked it down. Protection.
Mm-hmm.
I see no protection here. So these are going to get scraped. They're going to pop out.
What do you mean? The
Well,
keys?
yeah,
Well,
the
it depends on what the keys are made of. I'm presuming that it's like the case is going to be a normal kind of like soft shell type case that you would normally get, and the keys itself is going to be a hard plastic. I know what you're saying when you're putting it in and out of your pocket, but then I think
Plus, you're going to start unlocking things or doing stuff as well. It's in your pocket.
the only thing I would say is that you said it at the top of this, and that is that a lot of people used to advertise the BlackBerry as a business phone. And so would that not be useful for someone who's in the line of
Leave it on a
business?
desk.
So you can just leave it on the side of the desk, and you'd only plug it in when you're at work. So maybe leave it at work, plug it in when you're at work, tick, 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 tick. The thing that worried me was how long it was going to end up being, because obviously your hands kind of naturally go to the bottom of the phone, so your hands would have to be like further
You can
down.
still hold it behind the thing.
But you'd still hold it, yes, it's a full case. But sometimes when something's very long, if you're kind of like even not paying attention for 5 seconds and the phone then gets a bit heavy at the top and it falls down, do you know what I mean? Because I had years ago, like I stupidly bought this giant iPhone. It was like a phablet, and it was like probably 5 times the size of this, but it was still a phone.
My phone's
It was bigger than that. And I remember sometimes when you're kind of on the toilet and you're kind of like looking at things, that sometimes it would just fall out of my hand like that because it was so long.
weak fingers.
I have small hands anyway. I have the hands of a small child, which is not a good start.
I want to know if this makes clicky noises when you type.
It does make clicking noises while it types, hence why it's called Clicks.
Oh, I see.
Clicks for iPhone is designed for the iPhone 15, 15 Pro, and 15 Pro Max. and it can be pre-ordered. It's $139. So what's that? UK 120 quid? That's quite expensive, actually. Now I know the cost of it, I'm not so keen on it. But I do love the idea of having a full keyboard at the bottom of the phone. I never had a BlackBerry, actually, and I never really had a phone which had a keyboard on it. I kind of upgraded from... yeah, those phones we used to use like one, but you press one to get ABC and then
That's not a keyboard.
That's what I'm saying. So I never had one of those. I went from one of those straight to an iPhone.
Because you're so old.
It's because I'm so old. Well, you had an iPhone before me. You had an iPhone 3. I had an iPhone 4, if my memory serves me right. And then you got an iPhone 5. This was the days when we used to get it every 2 years. Now I've had that for about 7 years. It's just ridiculous. It's so funny how you kind of move on, isn't it? You kind of don't... Used to, when you're younger, and I don't know if young people are like this still, but like you kind of jump for the next big thing. And now I'm just like, it still works.
Yeah, there's not enough differences.
Can't be bothered anymore. Yeah, no, there's not enough difference. But is that something you'd be interested if they released an Android
I want to
version?
touch it and feel it.
Right, but what about the attachment to the iPhone?
I think it looks nice. I think the yellow one looks nice. So yeah,
I prefer the yellow one too. But would you?
Because it's not official. It's a nice little thing. Like you can an option.
I think the price went down a little bit, and I think through popularity it will. I reckon if it went down to about $100, I think of $80, especially if it's a decent enough case as well. I mean, it wraps around the phone. I think you'd be more interested in that. But I know what you're saying about the buttons at the bottom. I'd be worried that every time I put
they're going to pop off.
Pocket, they're going to rub.
Especially at that price, you want it good.
You want a good quality phone.
Right. So what is next on our agenda then?
Was it me again?
I think it is.
It's so popular. Look, right. So this is the year not only of the UK general elections, which has already been officially sourced as being this year, 2024.
Second half.
November. Another year of Tory.
Keir Starmer said that Rishi Sunak is currently squatting. So there you go.
Oh, I see. I thought it was like shitting in a bucket or something like that.
No, he's squatting in number 10.
Number 10.
Won't leave.
A video came out yesterday. He was in Manchester because it was released on the Manchester City newspaper website.
Who's this?
Rishi. He was visiting, I don't know, some chip shop, just doing the round, photo calls for the news and all that crap. And as he left the chip shop, there was a crowd of people and they were going, boo, Rishi out. I say crowd, is about 4.
Good.
Still, boo, Rishi out.
I saw he went to a youth centre and it was full of like old men just sitting around looking at him. It's like, what youth centre is this? What's happening? His
voting clientele. I really want, and I said this about Boris Johnson, and I extend this to Rishi Sunak. I really want him to visit somewhere where I'll be.
Do you boo him?
Well, I'd boo him, but if he was at the place where I worked and they made us all line up and go, Rishi, I would literally turn my back on him.
100%. Well, I don't know why more people don't do it.
Especially doctors and nurses. Whenever he goes to a
they're
hospital,
hand-picked, aren't they?
I know they are, but still. But then I'd make sure I got hand-picked. I'd be like, oh yeah, Rishi, oh yeah.
Dishy Rishi. Do you remember the days when he was called Dishy Rishi?
But do you remember the days when he was actually considered as being reasonable?
Little did we know.
Right,
but so
even those
US
days,
elections,
even those days we were wrong to think that way, I should say. Yeah, so it's not only the UK election, it's the 2024 presidential election. They have no choice. They have to have it every 4 years. It's law. So 2024 is the next one. And Fox News are very excited because they are creaming themselves with excitement over the prospect that Donald Trump could get a second term in the office at the White House.
I hope not. Apparently Biden did a really good speech yesterday, like a 30-minute speech.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't watch it because it's 30 minutes.
Oh, I thought you were going to give you some details about it.
No, I just heard that it was very empowering.
30 minutes. We're 30 minutes. Don't worry, guys. You don't have to watch us.
But, yeah, some states aren't letting Trump be voted for either, are they? I've seen. They're not putting him on the ballot.
Really? Which states are those?
I remember.
Reasonable ones.
There's a few.
How and I think that though? Surely he's a presidential election.
I don't know. I don't know enough about American politics. Just what I pick up. But I have seen that a few states have said they're not putting him on the ballot.
What?
And people are like, I'm going to write him on the bottom of it, and they're like, that won't count.
Yeah, that doesn't count. It's like people who's like, I'm going to spoil my vote by putting a cross through the whole thing. It's like people literally just toss it away. Honestly, you're not doing anything powerful by doing that. You're not, other than your own smug satisfaction of thinking, I just put a big pencil cross through the whole ballot paper. No one cares. Even if you signed at the bottom like Picasso, thinking it's like your piece of art, this is your hill to die on, no one cares. So stop boasting about it, you silly prat. Right, So on Fox News, with the excitement that there is going to be a 2024 election, Fox News decided to bring on a psychic.
Right.
A psychic to predict what they think the outcome is going to be. And suffice to say, it did not go very well.
Okay, we'll watch it now then.
Let's do just one card. We like that one.
What is that?
I mean, I do recognise that I'm at Fox TV. I am a sense of loss. But it's very specific. No, let me move on.
So basically, she turned the card, and they actually, on the video that I found, said it's the Grim Reaper, and that's actually incorrect. That's not what that card is. So everyone thought that was the Death card, but it's not at all. It's actually the Five of Cups card. And the Five of Cups card basically shows a picture of someone who's got 3 cups that are discarded on the ground, and they're holding 2 cups. And it represents that they're so focused. It's actually more relevant to what Donald Trump's campaign is. They're so focused on the loss of the 3 cups that they can't appreciate what they still have.
2 cups up.
But they still have 2 cups. And that literally you couldn't sum it up better than the whole of the Donald Trump election and presidential campaign than that. It's almost too good. I feel like I hope that she did that on purpose. And don't get me wrong, I don't believe in psychics. I don't believe in like telling the future through cards and something like that. And a lot of people did call out on the video saying like all of a sudden everyone now believes in tarot cards. It's like, yes, I get that. But at the same time, you can't help but appreciate the irony, the wonderfulness of this coincidence of that had happened live
on
Fox News as well. And I love the fact that she apologizes when she goes, I appreciate it all on Fox TV. It's like I love that she did that as well. And her face, I mean, if you are listening, please, even if it's just for this part, go to our YouTube channel and watch this video or find this video, because as soon as she puts the card down, her eyes just look up and you can see the producer off camera just going, like, you know, slapping his head or her head as they see her kind of produce this card, and her like looking desperately worried that she had done it. I'm hoping though that this is all an act and she knew very well what card she was putting
maybe
down.
it's written in the cards. She doesn't need to. She just needs to do an act because that's what it is.
I know, but Eric on TikTok had commented and said, "Isn't tarot card reading against Fox's religious beliefs?"
You think it would?
Which I would have thought so too, because I also saw a few comments on there that there was people going on there like, well, I don't believe in tarot cards because I believe in Jesus, so I can't wait for Trump to get a second term. And it's like, well, you're watching Fox News, so do you believe in
also,
Jesus?
he's not that good of a Christian, I feel.
What, Donald Trump?
Trump.
Oh, goodness me. What video did I saw? He accused Obama of taking money from Russian people, and he said, this is not very good, and then they found out that he's been taking Russian money for his businesses. Like, this literally, again, is another thing. He's just awful. Like a cartoon.
The fact that he can still run for president is worrying enough, but
well,
here we are. I still don't think he will win, but
so I should say accused felons, allegations against him.
Many allegations.
I shouldn't straight away tar Trump with the same brush as, say, someone who has a felon conviction. However, like Giovanni, what is his name? That New York.
Oh yeah, the New York mayor.
Yeah, mayor.
Leaking head.
Mayor from the leaking hair.
Yeah.
But yes, I thought that was very funny. I mean, what's your prediction? So it's between Biden and Trump, isn't it? I feel a bit sad that it's not his vice president, Biden's vice
Kamala
president.
Harris.
Yeah, I love her. She is pretty cool. But
I think Biden, he's actually done a good job if you actually listen to it. Like the debt's gone down, unemployment's gone down. He is actually doing a good job. It's just
their GDP is apparently very good.
It just never gets reported on, I think. But I can't imagine that Trump will get back in again.
Not as exciting, is it? I mean, I was reading an article just after actually Trump lost the election, and lots of news channels were getting a bit worried because their advertising revenue was like at its peak when Trump was about, because they had lots and lots to complain about. But
no, I just think he won't win. I can't imagine that the whole of America will vote for him for all this stuff.
People will though, and that's what.
Yeah, some people will, but I think it's just that loud.
Not the silent majority. The silent majority.
No, the loud ones who aren't actually that many.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right, so next up then, we've got Gypsy Rose has been released from prison. This came up on my social media about 2 months ago. I've never really heard about her before. And there was like this big sort of online Discord about people who were like celebrating, like counting down to when she got released. I was like, what is
Bigger
this?
than Britney. This is bigger than
Right,
Britney.
what is going on? So it's quite an interesting story because she was put in jail for 10 years. She's served 8 years now. She's been released. She's done her time. She was put in jail because she arranged the killing or the murder of her own mother.
Yeah.
But Gypsy Rose was known before because her mum was kind of pretending that she was sick and ill and forcing her to have all these operations. And she was basically, it's Munchausen syndrome, isn't it? Where you are sort of, you're made to think that her daughter was sick, so she got sympathy. Her mum
She pretended that her daughter was disabled and chronically ill, and that she was getting like loads of doctors to kind of look into it, and there was nothing wrong with her, but she was making her ill as well. Yeah.
But it's just mad that all these doctors, that she was able to do this with no evidence. Like she had operations, she was in a wheelchair, she used to shave her hair and stuff, and it's like, how is this? And like every time a doctor would question her, she'd move away to a different state.
Yeah, and try it.
And like when they say all her medical records, she used to say that they were destroyed in Hurricane Katrina. And it's just like, this went on for years and years and years and years. And basically Gypsy Rose met someone online and arranged for this man to come over and kill her mum for her while she locked herself in the bathroom.
There's lots of different versions out there. There's one that says that she conspired with him in the sense that they had both wanted, she told him his story. He was like, oh, that's disgusting. And some people are saying he convinced her, some are saying that she convinced him. Some people say it was a mutual thing. It's tricky. But at the same time, it wasn't, what she did wasn't right, but at the same time, what her mum was doing to her also wasn't right
that's
either.
the thing about it.
It was like, this is one of those good occasions where there is no right or wrong. There's just a blur in the middle.
But it is amazing because I saw some interviews with her when she was in prison, and I was like really taken aback by how like articulate she was and how, not awful word, but how like normal she was. And it's like, this is interesting. I think that's why it's captured people's attention, because she seems to have really, she accepts what she did. Like she's done some interviews since she came out and she said, I did wrong, I've done my time. She pleaded guilty and stuff. But it's amazing because she said on her first day of prison, like they asked her like, oh, are you scared about going to prison? Are you worried? She was like, no, this is the most freedom I've ever had in prison. It's like, oh, okay. So that explains what her life was like. Like, prison was the most freedom she's ever had. But she's sort of come out into this world of influencers, I guess.
I mean, where do you go when you leave prison and you're one of the most well-known young people in America? Well, of course, you go straight onto social media, eh?
But she's got 7 million, I think she's got in the week since she came out.
I mean, good for her. I mean, in a weird way. Again,
That's what I mean.
I suppose you could argue that there's something a bit dark, the fact that she's using the fact that she went to prison for murdering her mother as a source of income, as a source of getting famous. She'll be on the next series of Big Brother, probably in America, or Desperate Housewives or something.
She said she wanted to go on Survivor. She said, I'd love it.
There you go.
But I think it's weird because some people are like, oh, she shouldn't be doing this, but she was on The View, I think. I saw a clip of, and she was on there, and they asked her like, why do you want to be famous or whatever? And she's like, I didn't actually go out and want to do this. It's just and she actually said herself, I think I'm actually infamous, not famous. Which was
I think she's wise.
That's what I mean. The way she replies to the questions is really intelligent, and she, like I say, she doesn't shy away from admitting what she did was actually wrong. And she said she still misses her mum. She's her mother, but
of course,
that's what happened at the time, and obviously she regrets what happened. But it's just interesting how she's become like an influencer.
I mean, I think that for me, it's like all power to her. Like it's just, this is her way in, and let her do it that way. I mean, she's, as you said, she's not shied away from the fact of what she's done. She's not pretended that she hadn't done it. She openly admitted it. So, there's so many people out there. We were only talking about that guy who's being done for sexual abuse charges. Not Epstein, the other guy who used to own Miramax, and he comes out and he acts all like frail and sad and like it's like, oh, don't be a dick. Just
Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein.
Just admit that you've done wrong here, and Epstein for that case. It's like, okay, there's a conspiracy theory that like he kind of maybe got someone hung him and this and the other, but at the same time, like he decided possibly to take the easy way. It's like at least she's being open and honest and admitting what she had done was not.
Because they even asked her. They said, "Well, you're the man who did the murder, who you brought over and got it. He's still in jail. How do you feel about that?" And she said, "Like, I'm not here to speak on it. I've served my time. I'm out. He's still serving his time. I don't want to speak for him."
How long's he in for?
I think he's for life, so it's up to 25. But
so she wasn't done for it then. She was done for conspiring.
yes, well, she didn't do it. She went to the bathroom. He went in the house, and her mum was sleeping, killed her. But apparently, he also sexually abused her, Gypsy Rose, after he killed the mum. So there's more to it than that. I think she's doing a documentary because there's a TV series about it. What's it called? The TV series?
Oh, there's loads of
Act.
There's one. That came out in 2017.
Yeah, she says she's not seen that, but she's doing a documentary where she's just going to say the truth and like.
I bet Netflix
Yeah.
literally was at the prison gates going, "Hi, we're Netflix. Here's $1 million. Would you like to do something with us?" And I bet she was like, "Yeah, right."
I'll be interested to see it though, because she said it's going to be the true story. They've interviewed her. Apparently, her granddad did like a dodgy interview on the news the other day where, like, they were questioning him about him sexually abusing her, and he said, "Oh, it was her. She kept pulling towards me and blaming her, and everyone's calling him a right weirdo." So it's just this whole family seems messed up. So it's quite amazing how grounded she seems to have been able to get herself in prison, which is good for the prison system. You know, that's what you want when people come out.
But that is what you're meant to do. Yeah, that's the whole point of the prison system is that you're meant to rehabilitate yourself and be able to reintegrate into society when you leave. And it's. I mean. Let's be honest, she's lucky because she's had a bit of a foot up in the sense that she's now able to jump into social media and find a route that way. Not everyone would ever have
do
that.
Think that she may just like support like the wrong celebrity and get cancelled because you don't know. 6 million followers out of nowhere.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what her political views are. You know,
people are joking.
She could tomorrow say, like, I spoke to the tarot reader about Donald Trump and we agreed that actually Donald Trump's going to win. You know,
it's a slippery slope.
Well, all fame is a slippery slope. But anything you and I could say could get people upset.
Exactly. Here we are. But there was some funny comments on X. So Emma on X says, "I'm dying at the fact that the internet a week ago was like, quote, guys, let Gypsy Rose quietly get back into society. Maybe she doesn't want to be an influencer. And here she is doing TikToks, going on Entertainment Tonight interviews, and talking about sex with her husband on Instagram," which is a really funny post that she did on Instagram because people I think people feel a bit protective and they're like, this guy met you while you were in prison, you got married while you were in prison. They're worried that he's maybe taking advantage or whatever. So she went on Instagram and said, "Don't listen to the haters," to her husband. "I love you, and you love me." It starts off really,
the guy who's in prison.
No, she's met someone while she was in prison. She met someone and got married while. That's why people were a bit like, just watch if he's normal.
Right.
So she's saying, "Don't worry, we love each other. Don't owe me anything." This spirals, by the way, this post, because everyone's like, it starts off so heartwarming. Our family is who matters. If you get likes and good comments, great. If you get hate comments or whatever, because that doesn't matter because I love you. And then it goes, besides, they're jealous because you are rocking my world every single night. Yeah, I said it. The D is fire. So I'm happy with my new life. It's like, okay.
Happy wife, happy life.
This is someone who's been pushed on social media who didn't have social media before she went into prison, do you know?
This is what I mean. She's been in prison for 10 years.
8 years.
8 years. So social media has probably changed from when she first went in because Facebook was pretty much the dominant one and now she's on Instagram.
Exactly, just saying whatever. But Rave Mother said, which I guess sums it up, she says, "So Gypsy Rose Blanchard's entire adult social development happened in prison. So maybe that explains why she's unafraid of saying things like, the D is fire." D for dick, by the way.
Yeah, I know. But I don't understand why that's inappropriate.
Because it's just normally you wouldn't say on thing like, "Oh, I'm having sex every night with husband, he's got a great D." Do you know what I mean? People like,
really? Not on social media when people go on TikTok live?
It's so open like that. If you have 6 million followers, I mean, you wouldn't just like the first thing you're going to post about how you're rocking every night, you know?
Really?
So people are saying, it's the internet. She's grown up in the prison.
It's the internet. That's exactly what the internet is. That's what people do. People do it for shock value. I don't think she did it on purpose for shock value. That's not.
It's a bit like how not Instagram. It's about how like Britney Spears posts on Instagram. She posts like weird messages, which are people like, "Oh, are you going to put that in public?" But she just posts it. Doesn't care.
I don't understand how the D is on fire is seen as an inappropriate thing to say. I genuinely.
She's telling everyone.
It's almost like saying what TikTok taking down your post, calling someone a prick is wrong. It's like
no, I'm saying it's wrong. People are just a bit taken aback that she was so openly just said that. I think, but it's a bit like
I really don't get that. I don't get that at all. It's because Americans are prudish. I bet that's an American.
People aren't finding it prudish. They're just finding it kind of funny / like, oh, you said you're having sex every night and his dick's great. Right. But like, they just didn't expect her. I don't think they expected her to say it, because the last image they had of her was this poor girl in a wheelchair. Do you know what I mean? Like the contrast.
Okay.
Do you know?
I get you in that respect, but I don't think that's what she's saying. I think she's saying like, oh, people, she's unafraid to say things like that D is on fire. So as if you shouldn't say that on social media. I just find that weird. Why?
So people were just surprised that she was so open to say it. It's a bit of a joke. It's not serious.
Well, it's no fine. It's just that
but Rave Mother is basically saying
I wouldn't clutch my pearls if I read that on.
No, I know, but it's just people. I think people are just taken aback by it. By like
that's
this
what I'm saying. I'm not.
I know you're not, but I'm just saying the people are. They're like
Rave Mother needs to get out.
Soft-spoken girls just saying this on Instagram. It's just how the rules of social media. She doesn't know the unspoken rules of social media. You know what I mean? That's what they're saying.
Yeah, but I don't think that's everyone on social media. I see that all the time. I was like, we were literally just saying on X how someone shows their vagina or their vag on the camera, and then go fondling their tits. And this girl's getting called out for saying the D.
She's not getting called out. People just find it funny, like unexpected.
Okay.
It's like if a head teacher posted it. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, that's different.
Yeah,
Because that's a person of authority.
Yeah, but that's why people I think that's why people take, because they have this image of her as this, all the images you know of her before prison, think of all the images, this ill, sick child, shaved head in a wheelchair.
Well, maybe that's
and
why then.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't really know enough of her before this, and so I don't have anything contrasted with. It's probably a bigger deal in America.
It's not a big deal, it's just funny. That's a unexpected funny.
No, it's funny.
Internet culture.
It's funny, but again,
chronic online. But there you go.
Well, she's unafraid. I don't understand.
It's okay. You don't need to. Maybe you grew up in prisons and you don't know social media.
Well, I always say that he's on fire to everyone. I just don't. Yes, I don't post things like that on social media necessarily.
No, it just took people back, I think, because they'd obviously put a picture in their head of what she's going to be like, and then she says that, and it's just,
what do they think? She's going to be like this kind of like, she's going to have this pool, and she's going to be like drinking lemonade on the pool,
withdrawn, not just talking about being at it every night and great dick.
It feels like to me that she's like Suki in True Blood. It's like when you first introduced to her, she's like this sweet, innocent blonde girl. She likes to sit on the porch, sit in the sun, get herself some rays, and the next minute she's getting screwed from all angles by a vampire.
I think mainly is people are used to people putting up a front on social media, not being that honest, and because she's just come out just being like,
so she thinks this is like sending a text message to someone.
Yeah, like okay. I think that's what it is. Like people are a bit like, oh, okay, she's just saying it, like a bit what Britney does on Instagram when she just writes stuff about. God knows what.
But you know what, Gypsy
people
Rose,
appreciate
Gypsy Rose, if you're listening and watching this, more power to you. You keep going for it, girl. You
exactly.
keep going
That's
for it.
That's what everyone wants.
That's what the world needs. She's not being hot. The thing is, right, that everyone's like getting upset over her saying a nice thing. She's like saying her boyfriend's dick is fire. But then when someone goes online and starts calling someone out and being really nasty and horrible, and everyone's like cheering on for it. Do you know what I mean? That we're looking at the wrong perspective here. We should be cheering that. We should be cheering that she's getting good sex.
I think plenty of people are, but they're just, like I say, people were just shocked that she just posted on Instagram.
Clutching pearls. Clutching pearls.
Yeah. But there you go. So we're happy that she's free. Yes?
I'm very happy that she's free.
There you go then. So that's our week finished, I think.
Goodness me.
Did you enjoy that?
I did, actually.
Was it on fire?
That P was on fire. P for podcast.
Well, there you go. So if people have any comments they want to make about any of the topics we've discussed, what can they do?
Days ago. God, we have to do this again. Okay, so if you find us on X, if you want to go on X and tell me that my D is on fire, then please do at Comment Below Pod, Instagram at Comment Below _pod. I would love it if someone said that to me. You can email us, commentbelowpod@gmail.com. As I say, we are on all what's it called? Podcast.
Social media.
No, well, we're on social media, but we're also on podcasts where you can listen to us. Sorry, I'm just thinking about
apps.
Yeah. So you can subscribe if you want. And if you enjoy listening to the show, give us 5 stars. And in the comments, put your D is fire. And if you want to watch this as a video format, then go to search Comment Below Podcast or Band Productions. Find us on there. You just see 2 white guys, both with very big beards. And you can subscribe, follow, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up, and also you can then you can literally comment below the video and let us know what you thought about this week's subjects as well. And you'll never miss an episode if you do all those things I've just described in a very bad detail.
So we're ending the episode as we always do with a post that is put on Facebook by a drunk Facebook mum on her 4th bottle of wine.
We want anything less.
So this one has a picture of Tinkerbell on it and lots of gold hearts around it in Disney fonts. It says,
I hope that's public domain.
Oh, maybe in a few years. Every day is a gift. It's how we use that gift that really matters.
Preach.
See you next week, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.